Well-designed shoes are important for a proper foundation for healthy posture. With all the advances in shoe comfort and support, one might think that shoe manufacturers are designing shoes optimally. Unfortunately, this is not the case. As consumers, we generally purchase shoes on their looks and comfort, with little thought to how it affects our posture. But there are actually 4 key features which we should be checking in the store before buying a pair of shoes. If you are not sure whether a particular pair of shoes is good or bad, then run this test in the store. Stand barefoot on the floor, breathe deeply, exhale, and let your body relax and slump. Then put the shoes on and bounce in them a bit. And repeat the same breathing instructions. If in relaxing you slump forward more with the shoes on, then one or more of the following 4 elements needs to be fixed, or the shoes shouldn't be purchased. Keep in mind that at the end of this video, you will know which elements of a shoe can be modified in the clinic. Therefore, you do not have to perform a perfect test in the store in order to buy the best pairs of shoes for yourself. This next one is something that can be fixed in the clinic. Heel wells. If you look inside a shoe and see a depression at the heel, which would collect a puddle of water if you were to pour water into the heel, then that shoe is poorly designed from the point of view of posture and proper spinal alignment. A person wearing such a shoe may develop a pain in the back and the neck, and any headaches can become more frequent and more intense. Why? The heel bone starts the foot's mechanical sequence of walking when you have a heel strike, from the beginning to the big toe off at the end. If the heel has sunk, as is very common, creating a heel well inside the back of the shoe, the heel is effectively tilted in a backward direction. This starts the cycle of walking incorrectly, throwing the head forward from the base of the neck with each step taken. While not as bad as being rotated backwards, the flat shoe does not make proper posture possible either. The heel should be rotated slightly forward as a result of the shoe insole surface being raised slightly at the back of the heel in order to make proper posture possible. What to do? Some shoes are easy to fix with a slight wedge that is glued into the heel as to fill up the heel wells and tilt the back of the heels up slightly. We have these available at $5 a pair, which basically covers our costs. We call them heel chips. As already mentioned, this is one of the elements that can be corrected in the clinic after purchase. The second element is the arch support. Shoe manufacturers have built supports into shoes, particularly arch supports, to increase comfort and reduce pain in the bottom of the foot. Remember the idea of muscle compensation from an earlier video? The foot has 33 joints and therefore collects a lot of compensation when spinal bones are pushed forward in a direction the body cannot self-correct. The foot is making up for that misalignment in the spine with its 33 joints. That's when you develop plantar fasciitis, heel spurs, and all sorts of feet problems and pain, as these chronic pains come from the foot twisting and shifting. So if you use foot supports that make your feet feel better, you will also be making the other areas of your body worse over time. If you put an arm in a cast, the muscles become weak. A built-in arch support, or one that you purchase afterwards, no matter their convincing marketing, will not only make your foot muscles weak, but also weaken your back and neck muscles. More importantly, it will stop ABC unwinding in its tracks by blocking the foot's perception of the ground surface and also the movement while it walks. The body takes its cue from maintaining balance from what the foot is telling it. So if an artificial arch exists between the foot and the ground, then the body cannot unwind effectively for lack of free motion and communication from foot to spine. The foot was meant to move, and when it is allowed to do so as naturally as possible, the foot corrects during unwinding, just as the rest of the body does. What to do? A, as part of being a patient in my clinic, I will ask you to bring in your shoes. I will test your body and improve your awareness of the indicators your body gives you when standing in good or bad shoes. I will also show you how to cut out the arch portion of the shoe insert when needed. When shopping for a shoe, do not buy any shoes with any kind of arch support built in, as opposed to a removable insert with arch support. This is one of the features of a shoe that cannot be undone when it's part of the shoe itself. Sports shoes being the most guilty. Keep in mind that your feet, while changing with our ABC treatment, will at first reduce foot pain, then eliminate it for good. One must get rid of the idea that arch supports are vital for foot and body comfort. And it may be necessary for you to wean off of the arch support. C, the same goes for orthotics prescribed by podiatrists. Orthotics for the feet are inserts that manufacturers, chiropractors, and podiatrists, foot doctors that is, build into or recommend inserting into shoes as supports to correct an abnormal or irregular walking pattern. And the same facts and rules that I mentioned just now apply to them as arch supports. These may seem to make sense when focusing only on the feet, but are counterproductive when considering the posture and the health of the whole body. ABC does use orthotics, just one, the size of a dime. Under one arch of the foot the body falls toward when walking, which we call the breakdown side. This is one of the things I first check for, and I will tell you which side it is. And I will check again occasionally, because as the body unwinds, it may switch to the other side. What to do? We will discuss the orthotics you have with a view to having you off them as soon as possible. Three, heel height. Once you start covering feet with anything other than socks and moccasins, you are moving away from the way the body was meant to move. Hence, we view shoes as artificial foot coverings. Of course, in today's society, it is not practical to walk around without shoes. We must therefore define the best shoe surface possible if we cannot be fully natural. One can have an ideal heel height that supports the body effectively. Not too high, not too low. Generally speaking, the heel of the foot should always be a bit higher than the toes. For women, 1 to 2 inches higher. For men, 1/2 to 1.5 inches higher. These vary from individual to individual based on the looseness of the spine, that is, the front to back flexibility, and its ability to absorb the extra heel height. Another point, the longer the foot, the higher the heel height can be and still maintain proper posture. Why can women wear higher heels than men? Because typically they're not as muscle bound as men, and so their backs and necks are more flexible front to back. Some shoes, of course, are completely flat, such as flip-flops. What to do? Glue on a heel chip or replace them with a sandal that has a built-in heel. Some heels are too high, as in high heels. What to do? Ladies, I will test you in a couple of your high heel shoes, and we might find that you are able to wear some of them. However, others will have to be put at the back of the closet and only worn briefly on special occasions, with a visit scheduled with me the next morning. All of these solutions will become very real to you when you notice your breathing, posture, and overall body comfort when we test you during your shoe visit at the clinic. Next, we are going to go over where the toe lies in the shoes, which is called the toe box. Shoes that are too narrow at the toe box are also bad for posture because they squeeze the toes, thereby creating another arch in the front of the foot that results in distortions in the rest of your body and a lack of stability. You generally want a little bit of freedom for side-to-side motion for your toes in the shoe. This is so much the case that I can demonstrate the changes in breathing of a patient with too tight of shoes, or even socks that are too tight. What to do? Don't buy shoes that don't provide enough space for your toes. Now here's a life hack for putting on socks, which can relate to toes being pushed tightly together. Do not pull your socks on tightly, but leave a small amount of extra sock at the end so that when you slip your feet into the shoes, you will still have enough space for your toes to move side to side inside the shoe. For the shoes, there's not much you can do if they are too tight at the toe box, unless they're made of leather, in which case you can take them to the shoe repairman to widen them if possible for a cost of about $10. Very worthwhile for an expensive and favored pair of shoes. So the best strategy is not to buy shoes that will squash your toes together, and instead look for a bit of wiggle room in the toe box. In order for us to make good progress on your ABC program and not prolong it, we need to fix any problems with your mattress and pillow, any couch and chairs you use, including car seats, as well as shoes. So please bring to your second visit with me any shoes you are uncertain about, and I will examine them as well as your car seat to adjust it and see if it needs a seat wedge. I will go over the shoes with you to confirm which are fine, which can be salvaged with a heel chip, and which are better off discarding so that wearing them does not continually undermine your progress you're making with ABC treatments. If you are uncertain about your bed, couches, or chairs, then please take photographs of them with your smartphone and bring them in to me to assess. So there it is. Most shoes we can salvage, but look on the bright side. If you need to stop using a pair of shoes, you will make progress on the ABC treatments you have come to me for, and any pains caused by those shoes will disappear. Remember, if you want to achieve the health that has eluded you until now, it will require confronting changing some things.